Okay, so if we have these two different materials, there is always it's likely that we will have a crack here. So looking at a crack is not something, it's not this building, it's quite good. So these connections are well done. Okay, so we have this, the encounter between the aluminum and the internal finish, it's good, but at some point we will see that there is a crack. And if we have a crack there, and we can have infiltration, so there might be a lot of problems here. So let's fix this. I'm going to use the same sweep option. So first, remember that I need to see the whole, I think in hidden line it's better. Okay, remember this finish. I did it in this section, but now I have to do it here because in this section it didn't get up to the edge of the window. So now we are good with this. And what I'm going to do is to go to architecture component, model in place. This is a window. And we are going to select sweep again. If we select sweep, I can pick the path. And if I pick the path, I'm going to pick that edge of the window again. Like this. Okay. And now I'm going to edit the profile and I'm going to draw, well, I can draw lines because what I want is to create something like 1/4 of an inch. Where is 1/4? Like this. Like this. And now I click finish. I click finish again, and that's it. Okay, so we have like this element around the window. And what's that material? Well, if I'm working with wood, I'm going to create this sash. And the realistic material will be like this. Okay, so now we have this is better because we are hiding the connection between the gypsum board and that wall. So, okay, so I have this frame that it's hiding this this connection. So that looks much better. And finally, this is the last thing I'm going to do for the window. We have to hide this. Okay, so in this window sill, you remember that we had this element because we had to get rid of water. But here in the jam, another word. So when we are working with windows, the jam of the window, it's is this. Okay, so it's the element that we have at each side of the window. This is the jam, and that's the head. Okay, and that's the seal. So this is what we are doing now. We have already done the seal, which is the bottom of the window. The jams are the two elements, and then we have the head. So for the jam, for the exterior jam, we need another material. We did it in the interior one. Okay, so we created this, but in the exterior, the seal is different than the jam. It's a different material and it has a different shape because here we need to slope down so that the water gets rid of it. But here we need a vertical element, and then we have to continue that element around the. So that means that I have to do something different. Okay, so I have to do something different. I'm going to move it here. Okay, so that's it. The same thing I did here inside this element. I have to do it outside because I need to close this gap, especially outside, because outside it's even more demanding than inside. So let's do it. And how can I do it now? I'm going to use sweep, but now I want to draw this profile there because I cannot create like a square or rectangular sweep path because this is different. Okay, so that's the seal, and the seal, as you can see, it was here, and we have to slope down and out to get rid of the water. But here I need something different. So I'm going to work with hidden lines, and I'm going to go to architecture, set the work plane. It's the mid window. It's the reference plane that I did when I created all these green elements. And now at this point, I have to go to the front view. Okay, so that's what I need. I need to close that gap. This is the OSB board. So I'm going to create a line here, here. No, let's go this place. Here, but I want to have the same height. And now I think I need to trim this and that. Okay, so it's just a rectangle. You see that rectangle here, the green one, the green rectangle, because I want to hide, or I want to close this gap that we have here. Okay, so I did it here inside, and now I'm going to do that there. Okay, so once that I have the shape, now I have to see the whole window, because in the whole window in wireframe, look, it's getting, let's try the hidden line first. So I'm going to go to architecture, component, modeling place, window. Now sweep. The work plane, I think it's the right one, reference plane mid window, okay. And now I have to pick the path. So the path can be pick path. Well, actually, it can be this, sorry. The first one has to be this one, second and third. The only thing is that I don't have to take this one, because here we have the seal, and I want the sweep only in these three sides. Okay. Now I click OK, and I have to edit the profile, and the profile, I need the wireframe now because I have to pick this. No, I have to pick this rectangle that I created there. There we go. And now if I click OK, I'm going to change the material to the sash and finish model. Whoop. Let's see if it's good. Okay, almost good, but again, there's a gap here that I have to close up to this point and this point. Okay, so now we have closed this gap here between the OSB board, and there was an opening here, a gap that wasn't acceptable. So now it's fixed and it's closed, and the seal is there. Okay, so it looks good. Okay, so now we don't have any gaps inside the window. We don't have any gaps outside the window, and I think it's almost good. There's something that you have to do that I'm not going to do. So that's up to you. But remember that to open the window, I removed some of these elements. I removed this railing there, and then I removed part of those. So if you do it again, now you can copy because this element is continuous. So you have to create this one, and then only here, and then another one there, another one there, another one there, and then you have to do the same with the finish. Okay, but you have to do it. Okay, so you can't copy this and that, because if you do this, you will hide the window. So you have to make sure that you have the wooden element here, and then the finish, and then here, and then there. But other than that, I think we are done with the window. So look at all the elements that a window has, and if there's something that it's not, if there's a gap between the wood and the OSB, or between this sash and the aluminum frame, there will be infiltration issues. So that's why after doing this, we have to go with the silicone and then seal perfectly all these elements or these edges with potential infiltration. So it's quite difficult opening a window. I told you that we were done. No, we're not, because we don't have any glass. Okay, so we have the opening, but where's the glass? It's not there. So let's do the glass. Okay, so we're here again, and we have the fixed frame. We have the movable frame. You see that, remember that was a rubber element, so that this chamber that we have here is sealed between these two rubber elements, this one and that one. By the way, I didn't change this one to EPDM. Okay, so now they both have the same color. And how does it work? The window, okay, so this is the frame. We need here something that it's movable, because if we have to replace the glass, we have to work inside the building, not outside the building. So this is fixed, but here, all these window profiles, they have something movable so that we can remove, and then we can replace the glass. If we go to window detail, why is it that small? Okay, here you go. So here, a lot of cavities, because this is a PVC. This is the fixed part, and this is the movable part. And you see that this is the shape that we have created. And now here we have something that can be removed. You see that there's a detail here, so we can remove this and then we free the triple glazing, and then we can replace it. We can remove this part, so that is fixed. All this element is fixed, what we need here. Okay, so all this is fixed, but this is the part that we are going to do now. Let's call it number 5. So that's a tiny square that is all around the window. So let's do this. And we go to the Revit file. We have to draw it. So from the front view. So I can go to architecture, set the work plane in mid window. I have to model a line here, the same height as this guy here. There you go. So that's the element that we are going to move around the window now. So let's let's show. Let's show the whole window. Now that's the element that we have to move. So let's go to component, model in place. That belongs to the window. It's a sweep. I'm going to pick path. The path now can be the edge of the window. 1, 2. Three. And 4. That's the path. Now we have to edit the profile. It's not there with the wireframe. I can select not this one. I have to trim and now finish. The material has to be aluminum. And finish the model. And it didn't work. Let's do it again. Architecture, component, model in place, windows, sweep, path, 1, 2, 3, 4. Click OK. Wireframe, edit profile, pick lines, 1, 2, 3. And I don't want to pick this one. I'm going to throw it here. Now I click OK. Okay, it's there. And now I am going to change. I think I did it twice. Did I? Yeah, okay, it's there. And it's made of aluminum. So if you move this again, there you go. Yeah, so here we have the gap for the glass itself. We can do it as detailed as we want. We are working with triple glazing. We are not going to create a triple glazing. That will be too much. So I'm going to create a transparent element between these two. Between this one that it's we can remove it, and between that part that is the fixed part of the frame. Okay, so we can move this, but this is fixed. We can have, because okay, so let's explain this. The connection between the aluminum and the glass, it's through this rubber. Okay, so again, glass is very fragile, and if it's in contact with aluminum, probably it will break here. So that's why we need this elastic element. We need this rubber, the same rubber that we have here and there, to create this sealed chamber. So we need to have something between the aluminum or the PVC or the wood or whatever and the glass. Okay, so we have this element here. So we can do it. Again, front. I'm going to draw architecture. Make sure that the set work plane is the mid window. And the model line, I'm going to do this rectangle here. So I just want a rectangle like this, and I'm going to copy the rectangle. Copy this here. Okay, so that's gonna be like a rubber band to protect the glass against the aluminum frame here. So let's do it again. Component, model in place, window, sweep, pick path. The pick path or the path, it's something that it's there. And I always forget that I have to show the whole window. So again, window, sweep, pick path. One, two. Three, four. And now edit profile. And we're going to pick this rectangle here. We click OK. And the material, it's EPDM. Okay, so we have this elastic element so that the glass will be in contact with this elastic element, not with the aluminum itself. And since these two elements are exactly the same, I'm going to copy this here. And I think I copied it in the wrong place. Copy this corner. In well, let's do it from the top view. I'm going to copy this here. Okay, so now we have this element, we have that element, and now we only need the glass. So the glass, it's easier because for the glass, I just need a transparent element. We don't need a sweep. We can use architecture, model in place, window. I'm going to use extrusion. And I want just a rectangle. Okay, set a work plane. I can pick a plane and I can pick any horizontal plane that I get here. That works. As long as it's horizontal, it will work. And now I need a rectangle from the midpoint of that to the midpoint of that. Click OK. Let's change the material to glass. Finish the model. And now we only need the right height. We are here. We select this element. There you go. Okay, so now take a look at the complexity of this window. Okay, because here we have all the elements now. So we need some structural element to fix there the fixed part of the window. That's the fixed part of the window. Now, from the fixed part of the window and the movable part of the window, we need these two rubber bands or this, yeah. So to make this chamber here sealed. Now, this is the movable part of the window. Now, this is a movable, or we can remove this so that if we're going to replace the glass, we can remove this part of the aluminum frame, and then we can move the glass to replace it. But we need this rubber as a transition between the glass itself and the aluminum frame. And finally, we have the glass, and this glass, it's just a solid block, but in reality, we have like 3 panes of glass. Okay, so it's and here we have this glass that we can move slightly down. Yes. So we have the same. We have the fixed part of the window, the rubber bands, and the glass here, and the glass is in contact with this rubber. It's not in contact with the aluminum frame itself. And remember that here we have this element, which is the seal. And the seal, it moves the water down and out of the building. And we have to close those gaps with this jam, make the exterior one, and then the interior one. Okay, so this is what a window needs. So it's there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I feel so proud of this window because here we can see the structural elements of the interior and the external and the internal and external finishes that I think this is worth showing. So I'm going to save this 3D view, and that will be one of the requirements for this assignment. Okay, so here we have the we have all the components of this window. So we're going to prepare a sheet, and one of the drawings on that sheet will be that detail, this detail of the window. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate that view. I'm going to call this view 3D window detail. Okay, and I would hide this view or this box, the section box. In that view, I will show the crop region. Where is the crop region? Here. Okay, I'm going to increase that the detail. If you have these green lines, hide them, hide in view category, because we don't want to see any of those grid lines. And we don't want to see the crop region either. So hide the crop region. And if we prepare one of the sheets here, a new one. So one of the drawings that we're going to insert here is this. Okay, so for the midterm, we are going to prepare 3 different sheets. One for the metallic structure, the other one for the concrete structure, and another one for a wooden building. So there will be 3 sheets like this. The size is 22 by 34. And well, you have to design your own title block with your name, your own your logo or whatever. But basically, we need 3 different sheets, and there will be 3 different drawings in each one. Okay, so here we're going to have the section, the whole building section in 3D. Here we have a detail, and here we will have callouts. So today we're going to finalize this whole building section here. That's a detail of the window. And here we will have callouts probably of the window too, the window sill, and then the window, the top of the window. But all this detail has to be here. Here and there. Okay, so remember that if we have this detail, this 3 window detail, and if you don't want to change it, you can always lock the save orientation and lock view. If you do this, you're not going to move it. Okay, so you can't move it. So when you think that this is the right view that you want to show, you lock the view, and that's good because whatever you do here, it won't be changed. And we can keep working with the 3D, the original 3D drawing. Okay, so in this original 3D drawing, we have all these, and now we have to keep going because we need the second floor, and then we need the roof. That's what we're going to do now using this 3D view. Okay, so let's move the section box and make sure that we show everything, and then we will use the section box to crop the view that we need to show. Okay, so we are done with the window, and I didn't do this. Remember that you have to do it on your own, and I'm going to copy all this wall to the second floor. So let's do that. Let's go to section 1. And here in section 1, I have, or I should have, all the elements of the window. Okay, it's there in the wireframe. We will see everything. And we have to copy basically everything up. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to select everything. And copy from this level to that level. Perfect. Okay, so now on this 3D view, we have the 2 floors, and all these window details have been copied. Perfect. And the only thing I have to do now is to design the roof. I can delete all these cellulose blocks. Because now the roof, it's going to be tilted. I need the inspiration because where was it? Yeah, we were copying this model. Oh no, we were not copying this one. We were copying. This is it. That's the detail that we are copying. Here we have this horizontal slab, but now the window, it will be the same as this. Well, it doesn't have any joists like these floor joists. Apparently they have rectangular rafters. Well, it's the same. It is a vented roof, but it's quite easy. The only challenge is that it has to be tilted. So we need to see the tilt of those elements. But as you see, we have this beam here, and I think we already have that beam in Revit. Yeah, so we have this beam here, okay? And this is just cellulose. So there's a small thermal breach because of this wooden element that we have here, because we break the continuity of the cellulose, of the thermal insulation. But I think we can afford it. Probably they prevented this from happening because they have the external insulation layer, but we have an internal insulation layer. So I think we can fix it inside. Okay, so that should be very easy. So there are different ways in which we can do this. So think I'm going to use the component model in place. So in hidden line, I am going to go to the wireframe top. There are a lot of things going on here, but I think we need the I need to see the rafter. Okay, so this is the double rafter. And what is the single one? This one. This is the rafter. So on level 15. So that's the rafter. To make it clear, I'm going to create like a reference plane, architecture reference plane, where this rafter is. Okay, and I'm going to extend it because I'm going to work with a component. Instead of working with tilted structural elements, I'm going to work with a component model in place. I think it will be easier. And I'm going to use this roof reference plane. And I'm going to use this to draw all the elements that I'm going to, and then we will extrude them. Okay, I think it will work. So we are in section 1. I don't know where section 1 was taken from. Here. Okay. And now from this section 1, the first thing, I think that has to be moved down. Yes, and this has to be moved down. And finally, this one. Okay, so I'm going to start this rafter from this wooden element and then going up. So let's go to section 1 and let me see this. Okay, so we have these 2 elements here. Good. So I'm going to go to component model in place. This is structural framing. And I'm going to use extrusion. The plane is the roof plane. That's the reference plane that I have to use. And now I have to draw the rafter because the rafter has to be adapted to the shape of that element here. And then I need, so let's say 30 degrees for the tilt. Okay. What length? I don't know. Say this. I can always change the profile of the extrusion. So, but so far, let's do this with 30. And now here and there. If we go to the 3D view, that's it. But I have to go to the level. Top view. And what's the width of this? It's the width, the same width as the rafter, but I have to make sure that in the wireframe it's here and there. Okay. This is it. I'm going to change the material. It's not rigid insulation. It can be the oak wood. No, let's say the soft lumber. Wood. And finish. Go to the realistic materials. And this is it. This is the rafter. If we want to make it a little longer, let's do it. We only have to edit in place, edit extrusion, and I'm going to make it longer. As long as this, as that. Here. There you go. Maybe it's too long, but then we will crop it because I don't know the length of this, but anyway. Okay, remember that if you copy this element and then you want to make it longer, then you have to do it with each element individually. So make sure that you have the right material, the right shape, the right length, and then we can start copying these elements. Okay. So let's go to the front view. I'm going to use the section box because if I do the wireframe, now it will be less confusing. We want to copy this. Here. And there. And here. There you go. Okay, so we have all the rafters here. It's important that the rafter is connected to the stat, so they are in the same vertical. So that's why that's important. Okay, that these two elements are connected in the same vertical plane. And once we have this, what else do we have in this? So you see that the space between rafters is filled with cellulose. And then here we have a board. Here we have these elements. We have the vented roof here, and we have another cavity there indoors. Okay, so that's quite easy. But okay, so let's work with the cellulose now. So that's why I want to work in the section. And I have to go to architecture, component, model in place. That will be the roof. I'm going to use extrusion. I'm going to select the roof plane. And now just trace, because the cellulose has the same shape as the rafter. So I trace this shape. I click OK. Some of the lines are not well connected. Yeah, that one. Okay, and now on the 3D view, this is it. So it's perfect between these two rafters. Material, it's not rigid insulation, it's cellulose. And now I think I can copy all these panels. Copy. Four. Oh, one more. Okay, so we have the main rafters with the cellulose. Now we need this OSB board. So let's do it in the section. So yeah, so the same OSB board that we have here, and we have to continue that board in that direction. So let's do it. Component, model in place. This is the roof. I set the work plane in the roof. I go extrusion and I have to select this and this, and I'm going to continue this with the same direction. And the same thing here, and now trim this and that. It's too thin. Let me see the width of this. It's ½ inch. Well, yeah, it can be ½ inch. I think I made 1 inch, this one for the wall, and this is half. Okay. Before doing this, I'm going to change the material, and this is the OSB, but the texture that I created, not the original material in Revit. And if we finish the model and go to the 3D, yeah, that's it. And now I have to move it in this direction and that direction. So here we have the OSB board, rafters, cellulose, OSB board, and now we need the second. So we need these elements because we want to create this cavity, and then we can apply the finish. Okay, So I'm going to create these elements now. So again, the section, those elements. Okay, let me see. Architecture, component, model in place. This can be structural framing or roof. I'm going to select roof. And I'm going to create extrusion. The plane is the roof plane. And those elements now I'm not going to connect it this way. I'm going to stop here because I think those rafters were 2 inches. Okay. And now on the 3D view, I'm going to adjust this here and there. Material, it's now OSB. This can be the softwood. There it is. Okay. Rafter, cellulose, OSB board, and this element for the cavity. And now I can copy. Name here, here. Yep. Now I'm going to do something different because I think here they have the thermal insulation outdoors, but I'm going to create this with the thermal insulation indoors. And then I will solve this thermal gap or thermal breach that we have here. So I'm going to create another layer of thermal insulation between these 2 elements, between that one and that one. Okay, so let's do it again. Section, architecture, component, model in place, roof. Extrusion, pick the roof plane. And now I'm going to pick these lines. Click OK. The material has to be rigid insulation. And now on the 3D view, we move it here. And copy. And finally, what's next? I only need the internal finish. You see that there's a gap here. So, okay, let's look at the section. So in the section, I'm going to move this internal finish slightly down and Okay, we need to fix that connection so I can do it with the internal finish. If I go to architecture, component, model in place, roof, and I go to extrusion, I pick the same plane, and then I draw it. I select this line, and then I move it up. I do this, and an offset of 1 inch. Is this 1 inch? Yeah, probably. Half inch. And now trim. Oh, yeah. Good. The material is gypsum. Finish. And now we move it here and there. Okay, so now I have all the elements. Rafter, cellulose between rafters, OSB board, rigid insulation, gypsum board. Now the only thing that's left is the cavity here. So for the cavity there, probably we need another board. In this case, this board is thicker because we have higher insulation, but we have placed that thermal insulation below. Okay, so I'm going to use this slightly thinner, 1 inch, not that much. And then we need other elements here to create a vented roof, and then another board, and then the asphalt shingles or any shingle that we can have there. Okay. So we are getting there. We're almost done. So I need another board, and then those elements again. Can I copy those elements? It would be great, but I don't know. I'll find out. Section. We need another board, architecture, component, model in place. This is the roof. Extrusion, big plane. Now I'm going to pick this line, that line, and I'm going to keep going like this. And that's another board made of OSB. Finish, go to the 3D view, and this is the board here. Okay, And finally, I need another rafters like those. I told you that I could copy it, but I'm not going to do it because I want to do something different. Okay. So in section 1, I have to fix something here. Component, model in place, roof. No. Extrusion, roof plane. And I'm going to select this one. I want a 2-inch offset for that. Okay. And finally, this material is soft. And copy. Okay, so now we could make the decision of filling these gaps with thermal insulation. It's something that it's possible. Since we have done this inside, it's not necessary, but if we want to increase the R value of the wall, we can fill this with thermal insulation, but now it's up to us. And finally, we need another layer to cover that part. And we have this is always going to be a challenge, how to deal with that element. We don't have any eave here or any overhang, but before doing anything with that, with the finished material, I think I'm going to create here like a flashing, so that the water it's going that way. So let's do it again. We don't have this here, okay? Because here they don't have they don't tell us how they have solved that detail here. But I think doing this is important. So let's go to architecture, component model in place. This belongs to the roof. And I'm going to create this on the roof plane. And I'm going to do this. And then something here. We need something parallel to this element. So I'm going to move it here. Now I need to trim. And yeah, I need like a finish. Something like that. And now I need an offset. Around 2 inches is too much. 1/4, 1/8. And now close the gap. Here and there. Okay, this is it. Material for this, I would say aluminum. And now on the 3D view, it has to cover everything. Okay, so it's a metallic element that moves the water, again, out. Well, out of the roof, and then it can go through the facade all the way down. And now we can use the final element. So we can go to the last component, model in place, roof, extrusion, roof plane. I select this line here, and I'm going to extend this line a little. This can be like 1/2 inch and all the way up to here. And trim. And trim. And the material can be the asphalt shingles. I have hidden some elements here, and now I have to unhide them. Unhide view. Oh, elements.